that both use double-stack magazines. Both pistols use hand-fit parts, and both pistols have the same 1911 style controls, along with both having an included magwell. I've seen some comments also, some super dumb ones, that say that the TAC 4 1/4 from Bul Armory actually uses MIM parts, but if you have like the Google skills of a child and spend actually 2 seconds looking it up, you realize that's not correct. As I'll just read this, Bul Armory transitioned to machine parts at the end of 2018. So I'm fairly convinced whoever left that comment probably ate paint chips. Hey, what up, Wizard? Welcome back. It's starting to get a little bit cold out, so I have the wolf coat back out again. But I wanted to continue with this video, kind of a ridiculous comparison that we've been doing, but I really want to show it to you all because the results have kind of been surprising, even to me. And I think the really surprising part is because we've kind of had drilled into us from marketing companies that the higher the price of an item, that you would think that like the higher the quality of the item. But if you've ever seen someone purchase a Jaguar, sometimes you're actually paying more for the privilege of owning a brand instead of any actual like functional improvements. Or maybe even not a functional or reliable vehicle in that example. So today we'll be comparing the $1,800 Bul Armory SAS2 TAC 4 1/4 versus the $2,600 plus Staccato P 2011. And I know it's weird, $2,600 plus, but you technically have to buy an Optic plate also, and that's another $130 for one of those. And also, yes, this is a ridiculous comparison, as both of these pistols are priced kind of crazy, but if you're spending this type of money, I'd figured you'd want to know how they compare. Now though, I want to identify that there are people out there through whatever mental trauma or lack of basic intelligence, that they identify who they are as a person by the brands they buy and the things they support. And it causes a special level of brain damage when I go to review things, because people who identify who they are as a person as that brand take it then as a personal attack on themselves if there's something that I find I don't like. So as a collective of TLD viewers, if you see those freakout comments, join me in replying to them with your favorite sandwich or something equally unrelated so they can just see how ridiculous it is. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna break down these pistols like grown-ups and see how they really compare in a bunch of different categories. Dropping a bit of a spoiler alert though, they're both fantastic pistols and the price difference confuses the hell out of me. But we got a lot to get to, but first, let's take a moment and thank our sponsor. Today's video sponsor is HRT Tactical Gear. With their training and military expertise, they provide innovative gear from plate carriers to battle belts, massively increasing the function of the user from civilian to law enforcement to military warfighter. And I constantly brag about how good the HRT ARC pouches are, so big thanks to HRT for providing us with all the ammo we're using in this testing, and as a reminder, you can use discount code TLDCO to save anything over at hrttacticalgear.com. So getting back to our testing, I really want to do a bunch of small categories so we can really like nail things down and look at them in small independent categories and not necessarily like a big overall like, I like this one better. For full disclosure, the Staccato P was sold to me for the purpose of promotional content on the channel at a huge discount, and the SAS2 TAC 4 1/4 was provided to me from Bul Armory. But here at TLD, we don't receive any kickbacks or anything from either brand, so it kind of removes the shackles and allows us to kind of run a little bit wild with this comparison. Plus, I've been told I'm probably one of the worst shills on the planet. Now though, before we get all the way into the categories, let's take a second and just go over each of these pistols and kind of explain what they are so things make a little bit more sense as we go through everything. Both the Bul Armory SAS2 TAC 4 1/4 and the Staccato P are 1911s chambered in 9mm that both use double-stack magazines. Both pistols use hand-fit parts, and both pistols have the same 1911 style controls, along with both having an included magwell. Additionally, both pistols fit in the same holsters as they have the same 1911 profile. I've seen some comments also, some super dumb ones, that say that the TAC 4 1/4 from Bul Armory actually uses MIM parts, but if you have like the Google skills of a child and spend actually 2 seconds looking it up, you realize that's not correct. As I'll just read this, Bull Armory transitioned to machine parts at the end of 2018. So I'm fairly convinced whoever left that comment probably ate paint chips. I'm ready to just get into it though, so let's go over like what my feelings are on the first shots and have that be our first comparison category. And for this one, I'm gonna give it to the TAC 4 1/4. Just seeing my initial untrained footage, the Staccato took some time to learn. It's big, bulky, and heavy. It can be shot extremely well, but it takes some learning time. Now, while it is a bit unfair as I've trained with my Staccato, the TAC 4 1/4 just clicked with me instantly, giving me a lighter weight system that just felt natural from the first instant. It was a very different experience from my training with the Staccato, as it was just easier and effortless. And I think that natural feeling is just super pivotal because that natural feeling leads to confidence, and confidence then leads to accuracy because you're just more relaxed and more comfortable with the weapon system overall. Let's keep moving with the tests and continue some more of the shooting style test. And for this one, I kind of rated how they each felt drawing from a holster and going to fire. And again, I gave this one to the TAC 4 1/4. Here, the lighter TAC 4 1/4 just felt like a knife through the air, allowing me to draw quickly and drop shots on target. It just felt so simple and easy. Now the Staccato I have a lot of trigger time with and can move quickly and accurately, but it takes a lot more effort to move the larger brick. It just feels like I'm moving in molasses compared to the TAC, and I have to put in a lot more effort to move as quickly as I can with the Bull. Now, can you shoot both of them super quickly and accurately? Yes. Yes, you absolutely can. But the Bull is significantly easier by a whole lot. All right, looks like we have even more shooting categories. So for this one, I did the return to zero test. What I did purposely is I fired with the pistol and then waited till the actual dot in the entire pistol settled until I took another shot. And for this category, I again gave it to the TAC 4 1/4. Tell you what though, we're gonna need a whole lot more categories where the P wins, or we're gonna have a billion of those sandwich comments down below, aren't we? You can see with the slide cuts and purposeful design to include a red dot, the TAC 4 1/4 is staggering how quick and natural it returns to zero, giving you a repeatable and confident shooting platform that you can just run up to speed as you really get used to how wild it is. Now, the Staccato is an amazing weapon system, but when compared side by side to another platform, the P just seems sluggish. The larger slide and added weight just seems like you're firing a freight train and you're just waiting for the slide's weight and mass to catch up with itself. Now, before the crying goes all the way to 11, is the P slow? No, it just feels sluggish when you compare it against the TAC. And I'll even say that if you've seen people who can shoot the Staccato P fast, like Milspec Mojo, I would probably lose my mind to see what they could do with the TAC 4 1/4. All right, one more shooting category, and this is gonna be the manual of arms, and I just need to rip this Band-Aid off because this one cleanly goes to the TAC 4 1/4 once again. The Bull only has a 7% smaller grip, but it allowed me to use the controls far easier, allowing me to insert a mag and drop a slide with minimal movement, making follow-up shots more consistent after a reload. The P, on the other hand, has a much larger grip, which means I need to break my grip at various points of my reload, making a markedly more difficult time getting my hands reset correctly after a reload. So I'm getting back on the gun. I'm not getting as good of a grip on the reload, so make sure to note that. There is just a significantly easier time manipulating the 4 1/4 than the Staccato, and that easier manipulation translates to more control, more speed, and more accurate shots on target. I'm sure the sandwich level comments are piling up down below though, so let's mix it up and let's look at carryability and, dang it. This one also goes to the TAC 4 1/4. Let's just keep it moving. Okay, yeah, I probably should have commented on this. I have the old Staccato, like the old heavy frame one, and this information may not be accurate like everything I'm showing you now, but the idea that I have to buy another Staccato to get the lighter frame and the better grip is just laughably stupid. Anyway, the lighter TAC 4 1/4 is a treat to carry, and I had it on my hip all day at our multi-day NVG class with Jawless Hog Tactical, and oftentimes forgot it was there. The Staccato, on the other hand, is on my hip for a lot of shooting videos, and I always know it's there. It's big and heavy and often makes my belts not even sit correctly. Like one side of my belt always gets pulled down on one side and it's absolutely obnoxious, particularly when I'm out on the range. And I'm sure the lighter Staccato P is tons better and is not as ridiculous as this honker, but this is what I have and this is what I have to test with. All right, well, I take a break for the airplanes going overhead. You gotta pick a category that the Staccato actually wins. Oh, here we go, coatings. All right, yeah, this one definitely goes to the Staccato P. The Staccato line uses the DLC, or diamond-like coating from Armor Lube, to provide an amazing finish that provides both protection and durability to the slide. The Bul also uses a fantastic matte finish, but the DLC coating has become the top-tier standard, and it just makes for an excellent coating on the Staccato slide. And I'm pretty sure that Armor Lube has won like the contract for like the mil spec for actual armor coatings, so they're doing some pretty crazy stuff. All right, for the next category is Optic plates, and thankfully for the crying, this one also goes to the Staccato lineup, but ooh, barely. The Staccato has a load of Optic plates for various cuts, giving you the ability to mount any optic you could possibly want, but each plate is an extra $130, adding in significant cost to the already overpriced weapon system. The Bul, on the other hand, comes with an optic plate already installed, which is a huge bonus, but it really only offers one optic cut currently with the RMR system. Now, Bul is actively working on some more plate options, so when they actually let all those out, this category will absolutely slide over to them, as having the actual rear sights attached to your optic plate isn't as useful as you think it would be. All right, what's next? Oh, thank the Lord! One more for Staccato, and this goes for the Magwell. Here, I think I'm really just splitting hairs, but the Bul Magwell seemed to want to get bound up if I did some weirder angled reloads. Whereas the Staccato P just doesn't care. With the Staccato, you can get the same great mag seating regardless of your position or whatever weird thing you may be doing. I honestly think the Staccato could load toast if I asked it to. Now though, as we move to the next category, here's where things start to get a little bit sour and we start to tilt the scales back over again as we look at reliability, and I give this one squarely to the TAC 4¼ And that's because my Staccato is plagued with weird issues. From not wanting to lock back to the disconnector doing weird stuff, I'm always wondering what the heck it's doing and why it's not working correctly. The TAC 4¼ never had a hiccup, not one. It just chewed through everything and performed flawlessly. And the reliability really just plays into that confidence you have in your whole weapon system also. I know the Bul is just gonna run and run, whereas the Staccato, it's like a 50-50 on if the slide's gonna lock back. Now, I joke and I'm exaggerating, but it is interesting that the Staccato is sold as a duty weapon, and I would be a little bit concerned myself in using it in that capacity. And I even said that long ago when I first got this in the initial Staccato review, so that's probably why they don't love me so much. But let's keep this going. The next category we're gonna look at is grip, and with absolutely zero doubt in my mind, this one goes to the TAC 4¼ The Bul texture just grabs on your hand and doesn't let go, lending into the shootability as the whole weapon system stays planted and gives you that ridiculous return to zero. Looking at the Staccato, you have more of a grandma floral design than you do any functionality, offering nothing really in terms of grip texture, making this an extremely difficult system to maintain your grip on if your hands are wet or sweaty. Now, Staccato did upgrade from this crap design, but it's kind of ass that you're expected to pay $400 to not have a hot garbage grip texture. Plus, I don't entirely trust that the new one doesn't suck. And it doesn't make me feel good when it's $600 just to put small cuts on the slide. All right, let's do one last category before the real big doozy one, and this is the magazines. And here, I don't actually award any points as I think it's really kind of a draw, and I'll explain to you why. Just looking at the basic numbers, the TAC 4¼ mags hold one more round than the Staccato, they're cheaper, and they should be the obvious winner. But these mags can be a bit weird to get that first round started. Each of the mags did function flawlessly though, and didn't need magical pouches to just hold them correctly. The Staccato mags, on the other hand, are ultra refined and feel smooth as butter to reload. But they also hold one less round and they cost a brain-damaged amount. With this design, you often need special magazine pouches that can account for the 2011 geometry also. And I don't know, I don't think I really need stainless steel mags, but maybe that's what's playing into the whole better reloads and not really the Magwell. I don't know, whatever. This category is a draw. All right, now we kind of have the great equalizer category, and this one really matters above all else, and that's availability. And here's what kind of sucks is due to this category, some of the other ones, or most of the other ones, may not matter at all, and this one squarely goes to the Staccato. To purchase the Staccato, you just go to their website. You select from what they want, from standard or custom options, and you make an order. Then you wait a few months and it'll probably show up. For the Bul, you have to hawk the website and watch for availability to show up or sign up on their email list, and then hope you get a notification before they sell out. And the availability of the Bul, or like the barriers to purchase one, are really like the primary reasons why many of our viewers and even our team members say why they buy the Staccato instead of the Bul. Like if Bul could really open up the doors of availability, I think it would be just a wild, wild race, and I think the Bul would actually end up on top. So that's all my categories, and some of the points may or may not come into account, so what are my final thoughts? The Bul Tac 4 1/4 took every shooting category we tested it with. From drawing from a holster, to carrying all day, to rapid shots, the Bul absolutely dominated. The Staccato, on the other hand, had a slightly better coating and Magwell to help with reloads, along with simply being available for purchase far easier. So in my mind, for an extra $700 or $800, you end up with the worst gun. But the Staccato is available for purchase right now, whereas the Bul, you may have some difficulties in sourcing one. To me, after shooting the 4 1/4, I would spam that refresh button until I could get a hold of one of these, as I can save a significant amount of money while also having a better overall platform. And I realize that some people just don't have the extra time, and if you have it in your budget, the Staccato is just fine, and it's available for purchase right now. There is no doubt in my mind, though, that if the Bul was more widely available or they had a better system to order it, that I wouldn't even spend a split second considering the Staccato. But I hope this video comparing a $1,800 versus $2,600 plus 1911 was useful in your purchasing decisions, and you can kind of see that sometimes the difference in price are purely marketing. But I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon and YouTube members. You make it possible we can check out all these high-end things and see if they're actually any good. And I also want to say thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below, what's your favorite sandwich comment to someone who was angry was? All right, I want to hear about it. All right, everybody, we'll shout. I'm ready to just get into, oh, good, that's a good bluebird, good grief, I'm swallowing bugs. Can you hear that? It's the trash. It's like the loudest thing back here. Just wait for the trash, guys. Good grief, man. Somebody's gonna bring up disassembly. Now, no points for this. No, this one's silly because it's dumb. Someone's gonna say that the toolless guide rod is way better and the Bul, you have to use a paperclip. If you Google it, you see that the toolless has had issues. I don't know if it still does, but it's not without issues. So no points for that. And then I also don't love having to have a tool with me, so no points for that. But it's also, just don't be lazy. It's not difficult. Neither one of them are difficult. It's not a challenge. It's super easy. No points for the maintenance and if you're crying about that, sandwich comment for you. All right, go away.